皆さんこんにちは。ラルマチャンネルのラルマと申します。シャーロック・ホームズ・ザ・アウェイクエンド発売おめでとうございます。いやー、ずっと楽しみにしました。この会社結構シャーロック・ホームズシリーズ作ってるんだけど、俺初めてないよね。初めてで、PV 見て、こんなゲーム作ってる会社あるんだと思って、初めて知ってやろうと思います。で、この会社は、会社がね、ウクライナの会社で、だからわざわざこういう大変な時にね、作ってくれたゲームなんで、感謝してやっていきたいと思います。ではスタート。シャーロックは水恐怖症であり、水の中に落ちていれば恐怖症なとか、そうなの？わかった。イギリスが舞台かな？ロンドンか？ロンドンの影。ベーカー街。
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
めちゃくちゃだな。待って、感度高っ。ちょっと待って、感度高えわ。びっくりしたー。まあ。おー。だいぶ高いね。まあ、いっか。オンライン要素ないし。感度。これぐらいかな？うん、いいね。ちょっとまだ早いけど。まあ、これぐらいが一緒。点を動かすが回すで、中押しで調査。はい、なるほど。新聞だ。スウェーデンのウィルトワヒによるロンドン訪問中に数々の不幸な事件が重ね、英国とスウェーデンの外交関係に大きな緊張が走っている。なるほど。特に長年放棄された個人警護人が失踪した事件は、英国の外交団の顔に大きな泥を塗ることになった。警護人は非番を利用して、喉を散策していたはずが、当日の夜、行事に姿は外回り系不明になった。大変じゃん。警察の広報担当者は本誌に対し、発見は時間の問題であると語る。大型で典型的なスカンジナビア人の身体的特徴を持つ警護人は、紳士淑女とはすると警察。なるほど。目立つ服装だったと。なんか出よう。
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
Another letter from
Vienna.
I never reply, but they keep coming.
で、上で調べるやつが何個かわかるのか。
I don't see the strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
よし。新聞が見つからないと。テストで出しか。ここにはないのかな？外か？よし。
The dustbin is yours for the digging, Mr. Holmes.
中？でタブ。ああ、これが地図か。あ、これでいいでしょ？おー、いいね。めっちゃバリエーションあるじゃん。面白。あ、これ水はじきそうじゃない？知らんけど。帽子も決めれる。面白い。やべえ、やべえ。メガネはいいや。髭も生やせるぞ。いや、髭なしの方がいい。ああ、これ相棒の服か。相棒、俺とセンスが合わない。悪いか。なんだこれ。まだ開けねえな。外に捨ててしまったんだもん。あ、なるほど。外のゴミ箱見ればいいのか。でこれはああ、本ね。じゃあ、外のゴミ箱見て。開かない開かない開かないどこだ外のゴミ箱って。ゴミ箱なくね？ん？お？あ、これか。あ？
A cactus spine.
動物の針。
Gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination.
おいおいおい、危ないこと考えな。誰かい新聞。
You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison you.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Get the strand. Get your copy of the strand
Oh.
here.
あいよ。
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
僕の新聞に何があっ
Right,
た？
child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson?
Sure, now I can take the day off.
新聞に何をした？
Did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Can you
What?
describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises.
どこへ去った？
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears if you have more shillings.
オッケー。はいはいはいはい。ああ、謎か。やばい。間違った選択を選んだかもしれない。おい。これ戻せないのか。お。なるほど。安心。なるほど。なんかだんだんいきなり物騒やな。
Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples.
Not every pawn knows it's part of a game.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
本屋はどこなんじゃい？あー。どこあれ、本屋探そっか。本屋。ここは紙。お、見つけたか。おあ、こんなに公園。あ、これか。あ、お邪魔します。
Do you even have enemies that would want to kill you? Okay, perhaps from Cordona.
こんにちは。観察？長時間労働の結果。ずっと働き詰めって感じかな？新聞のインク。左足を引きずっている。あとはあとなんか証拠になりそうなものある？あ、靴。身長高く。なるほど。はい。襲撃された結果だろう。なるほど。脅迫されてるのか。
Mr. Barnes, a word.
ん？
Oh, for goodness sake.
どうした？
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please?
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
No, really deep in the weeds with important things. Help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself.
うん。
Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out.
お、はしご
The
壊れ
library's
てる。
broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
あんちゃん
Answers a dog now. Who's a good boy?
これはお、なんか証拠が固まってそうだね。外来植物の永遠の愛を象徴する。お、なんだ
Basics of cryptoanalysis.
暗号を解読してた
Cryptography
ね。
in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
暗号を解読しようとしてたなんだ
Finest view London has to
ま
offer.
さに花のある景
In the language of Mycroft's secret
なるほど
agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done.
マイクロソ
Wonder
フト
who the recipient
中
is.
心なるほどね。いや、出ても意味ねえな。あ、絵がある。
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre.
どう
Apologies, but I can't hear you. Please come back later.
まあ、証拠見てみるか。まあ、何かの暗号を解こうとしてたんか。理由か。次。ああー、なるほど。間違ってるとこうなるのか。もっと証拠が足りないもしかして。待って、証拠が足りないらしいな。
Barnes has always been a little odd, but this is uncharacteristic even for him.
だよな。あとなんかある？あ、なんかまだありそうだ。3だったわ。これか？
An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible.
お、
We're looking for a cactus needle in a haystack. A spine in a book stack? No, come on, Watson, think.
どうしようか。
I like bookshops. One of the few spots in London where you are shunned for making a racket.
まあ、外出て調べてみるか。
The weather is dreary, isn't it? To be fair, my flowers could use the rainfall.
Hello there. What's your name?
Lily,
2?
not very original.
なんだ
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
The pot is damaged.
Oh.
The blow was severe, but softened by something. It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
Familiar spine?
Oh.
That's what I found in my dustbin.
Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
観察するか。悲しみを隠すな。お。確かに。ん？3つに来てから書き換えた。なるほど。なるほど。うん。
My condolences, Mrs. Fleming.
Mr. Holmes?
Your husband's death. You're clearly still in mourning.
Oh, no.
Hmm?
I loved him more than anything, of course, but that was some time ago now. Life goes on.
A lesson we all learn, one way or another.
I don't know anything about this, sorry.
One of these things is not like the other.
うん。
Come again?
保て。
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless. Though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
なるほど。
Are you sure you're asking the right person? I'm just a flower seller.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right. Are you sure you're asking the right person?
Yeah.
I'm just a flower seller.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
なるほど。
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
なるほど。
Didn't you once tell me that answers usually lie in plain sight?
なんだ？
I should have worn something warmer. People don't tend to come out for flowers when it rains. Perhaps I should try selling door to door.
お？こっちか。 いやああ、なるほど。すげえな、こんなことまで。
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer. I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of a romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the abstruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
That... Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
溶石の爆発事故。なるほど。
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
さよなら。あ、最後に話したか。
let me know if there's any way I can make it up to you. Tell you what, tomorrow's edition of The Strand is on me.
ありがとう。
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No? Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition. And that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career, but it's brilliant. Let's go. Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
オッケー。が。
Not much further now.
はい。どこだ？このでかい建物か。
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles, and it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
他にも失踪者
Have
が
there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony, then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
急に何があった？特徴は？
Tell me about Kimahir.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand.
男性なんだ。
Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
日時は？
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
部屋は？
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
彼は以前逃げたことある？
I take it this is the first time Kimahir has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
理由は？
Is there any reason Kimahir may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
何か盗んだ？
Did Kimahir make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No, no. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
もう相当ご立腹やん。まあ、屋敷、裏庭だっけ小屋。首のない銅像。銅像に首ねえよ。あれか。なんだ？はい、土。
Chewing tobacco.
紙タバコ。なんだ。
Shoe print, roughly size 11, with a
大きさ 29? でけえ。
These are a workman's boots.
まだこれ調べられなそうだね。なんかマークあるわ。OK。まあ、とりあえずここで調べられるものは調べる。はい、行きますか。なるほどね。
shields made of Hessian. Is Stenwick
みんな関係、はい。
miserly?
白い円を見つけたら今日は注意深く。ああ、なるほど。なるほどね。わかった。
No air coming through it.
ね。
Button chops. The remains of a meal.
バトンチョップ。なんだおなんかある。
A heavy chemical odor.
化学物質。
Lend me your nose.
なんだこれ。
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my
麻
time
薬。
in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
The ashes are long since cold.
いや時間は経ってる。
No air coming through it.
Q を押せばタロット時代の起動ができる。
No air coming through it.
と
No air coming through it.
起動できる。なるほどね。まあまあまあまあ、他にも調べてみますか。なんだこれ。
A Maori nose flute. Ngurus
花笛。
called. No air coming through it.
よくまだ仕様が分かってないや。
Is this
Oh.
Tanifa, a Maori water spirit? Or something?
壁に書いてたの
Either way, it's giving me chills.
なんだ
A scrap of Hessian.
麻布。
These were sturdy boxes. It
相
would
当な
have
力。
required a serious blow to break them.
あとはお、これが調べられそうだね。なんだ麦か、これは。
Impressive. The sack of
荷
grain
物か。
retained the shape of an impact.
頭を押し付けたここにあとはおい。あんまね、調べられねえぞ。
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here.
あとなんだあともう一個あるはずなんだけど。見つけられない。どこだ一旦離れるか。紙タバコのやつ見てみる取れていた。
Looks like a knee print. Someone knelt here.
え
The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
ああ、なるほどね。ここでも見ることができるか。はい。なるほどね。誰かがこけたんか。こけてここに行ったと。
No air coming through it.
相棒。相棒よ。オッケー
Do you think Kimmy here had an accomplice in his escape?
どうなんでしょう。
The door to your garden
Hmm.
has an interesting lock.
Yes, I have uncommon locks on every door of my mansion. It makes them harder to pick. Kimmy here and I both had a set of keys.
I'll need to borrow them.
No, you'll need to do what I tell you to do. Examine the garden.
なるほどね。
I thought you were meant to be intelligent.
Is this spyglass familiar?
I don't recognize it.
Could it be Kimahia's, perhaps?
I doubt it. I never saw him with it, nor could I suggest how he might have come by it.
じゃあ誰かが落としたんか。
Are you joking? Why would I know this? Where on earth are you going with this?
I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimahia's?
Yes. I had to give him
あ、なる
something
ほ
to
どな。
clothe himself. He seemed unfazed by his bare skin, but I found it distracting.
Do you happen to know Kimahia's shoe size?
I wouldn't have the foggiest. But I'm sure it was enormous. Not that it matters. He spent his life barefoot. Despite my best efforts, he simply did not take to shoes.
なるほど。
Has Kimahia ever indulged in tobacco?
No, the man doesn't even drink.
Are you certain? I found chewing tobacco in the garden.
I controlled Kimahia's expenses since he struggled with the
Uh-huh.
currency. I would have known if he used tobacco.
なるほど。なるほどね。もうないや。よし。今回ここまでにしようかな。ちょっと頭休ませてくるわ。頭スッキリさせて、次見てみるか。ではでは、今回はここまでにしたいと思います。また次でかいお会いしましょう。ほな。